Right, in this video we are going to reassemble the headlight that we disassembled in the other video, and if you want to see how to disassemble a headlight, I'll put the link that way. Right, now we have laid out all the component bits. So we bought a broken headlight off eBay, and we're going to reassemble it using a new base. So maybe your vehicle's been in a crash, or you're buying a headlight that has been in a crash, and these little brackets break off and you get a crack in the casing, or the lens might be broken. We've got a new lens, but we're not going to put the new lens on in this video. It's just putting all this back together. Now we have laid it out, and we've laid it out with the screws and the order we need to put it in. I don't know what my orange paint is doing there. Right, so we are going to start putting this adjuster in and this bit, and we're going to work round the table like so. Now, I did do this video, but it had dodgy audio. We had some problem with the microphone, so hopefully this one's okay. But the advantage is I should know what I'm doing this time, shouldn't I, Kate?
Yeah,
hopefully. Right, so I have orange pen bits of interest and intrigue as we assemble this. So no more waffling, Simon, let's get on. So this is one of the adjustment things, and it relies on this little cog going in here and turning this to adjust the position of your headlight. So we're going to fit this first, and this goes into this bit. Notice this square channel down here, and that's got to line up with this little square bit here, and that goes in the right way, Simon. That goes in there. And then we use check out my Michael Jackson gloves.
Very nice.
Very nice. Is that doing something? That looking good. Right, here we go. Right, let's get my Torx driver. Right, because what you'll see later is when we start getting the chrome bits, if you leave any fingerprints on it, it's not going to work out too well. There you go. Right, I'll get the other screw in. Right, we've got those two screws in. That's in position. Now we've got to insert this with the cog end down through this hole at the top. You should have an O-ring in here. Notice the O-ring. Check that's all intact. And then you've got to lower that into there. Now you may need to give it a bit of a turn as you insert it. Check it's engaged. And then you're going to have to give this, they're quite tight these because of the O-ring, give that just a gentle tap down, and that should be there. And then we can check that engages. Yeah, that's good. Right, and then we're going to put the bottom corner pivot in. Now this goes on these 3 points here. You'll notice there's 2 screw holes and 1 pin. The pin is for the corner, and that goes on. If you can get it right, Simon. There we go. That goes on there. And then all the screws are the same. We got to love Valio for that, haven't we? So this headlight is made originally by Valio, according to the sticker. And this headlight, if we buy it new from Land Rover, is £1,800. But we bought this one on eBay for 60. But obviously we've got to... So we've got the backings and the lenses now for sale on our website. And we're thinking about repairing them, aren't we, Kate?
Yes.
Do we set up a business repairing headlights? Right. So one thing about doing this video is showing you guys how to do it. The other thing is actually testing the product quality. Does everything line up? Does everything fit? And it does. It's actually really good. Right, then we're going to take the main wiring loom, okay, and we'll just lay it out roughly like it needs to go. And then this should only go in one way. So it should go in one way, and then it, no, that might not be right. And it should, when you get it right, clock in. There you go, it clocks in. We can't see the red seal. Note the red seal, by the way. Make sure that is present and intact. And then you give it a little turn clockwise, and that's all in. Right, we've got the little circuit board here. That slots in its little... There's no screws on that one. It just gets tighter as you push it in. And that holds that there out the way. Right, now this should line up. Now you can only get it in one way. See where this black bit is? It's thicker on the outline here. This bit is wide, then it's got a little narrow section, then another wide section. And if you look into the hole Now, if I hold the wires out the way, Kate, can you see through the table there? Can you see you've got this wide section, narrow section, a little bit? So it can only go in one way. And when we put it in, it will click into place. Here we go. Let me hold it correctly. There you go. So that's all clicked in. Now, we'll put these two wires, we need to get through this hole ahead of the next bit. That one is going to go through there, and this one will connect onto the main bit. Right, we're going to get these ECUs on next. So this ECU, I've got to remember which one goes where. This one goes on here. So you can see I've written 3 because that's got 3 pins, 4 because that's got 4 pins. So that's how that should look. And then we can just slot this in. I'll push on the back of the connector, but it should stay in place. Okay, and there you go. That goes in. And then I'll put those 2 screws in. There we go. Let's get that one in. Right. And then while we've got it this way up, we'll put the next ECU in. Again, make sure that this seal around here is intact. It's a little bit squashed there, but that looks fine. And you can see the 3 screws I've highlighted, and that just plops in there. You've got to give it a little gentle push over the, get the rubber seal in. Right, and then I'll get those 3 screws in. Right, so that's the last one of those in. Okay, right. So the next thing we need to mount, we're all looking good. We've got to remember to keep those wires in the back there. Right, the next thing we've got to mount is this. Now this is kind of tricky. It mounts on 3 points. In fact, let's put this one in as we discuss it. So this is going to form one of the mounting points. So this white bit where the adjuster goes has got to point up because it's designed so you can put your adjusting screwdriver down here and twiddle the adjuster. So that has got to be, but to get it in, oh, also check this front rubber here. Let me just, so make sure you've got this front rubber ring. You see this rubber ring, make sure that's present because again, that's part of your water seal. Right, let's see if we can do this. It's not too bad, this bit. So you want to put that white bit, it sort of needs to go back to sort of the 10 o'clock position. And then you've got to push it in and twist it. Oh, my tools are going everywhere. Let me just give myself a bit of a hand. I don't want to squash it too much, but oh. There you go. It's kind of tricky because you can't really get a grip on it much. Let's see if I can just get it fairly low down. It'd be better if I can grip both sides. That not. There you go. That's it. Okay, so sorry that wasn't easy to film, but you can see there, and the white bit is pointing directly upwards. So right, so we've got 3 mounting points we need to get on. We've got this green one here, we've got this ball on the end of here, and this section here. And I've kind of written on here 1, 2 and 3 because this is the order we found best. So we're going to slide that one in, and then we're going to try and get that second one over and the third one over. And these are the little extra bits, and these are going to slide in to here. That's what we're going to do, and they will catch the ball. So let's try. This may be difficult to film. Now actually what it might be worth doing is connecting this connector. It's certainly easier to film. This is the shutter, and the little tab goes what is going to be the uppermost position. So that goes there. Again, I'm going to try and make sure we've got that out of the way. Right, we're going to slide this first one in. Okay, and he should sort of click. There you go. Right, and now we've got to get the bottom one in, which is here, right? And then what we've got to try and do is we've got to get it under here. Let me see if I can get it started in the, let's get it in the groove. And let's see if I can get it down there. And I've just got to catch that ball. Right, so you can see the ball is now in there. And I should be able to catch the ball and push that fitting up and catch the ball. There we go. So make sure that is secure. We've caught that ball, and then we'll do the same trick. Now, actually, we've got to put that wire in, but we'll do that in a second. So number 3 here. So we've got that slot. We've got to get this one ready on the side. Push that over. All right, yeah, that's good. All right, and then you make sure you've got the ball is inside the hook there. So that's all good. Now, one thing we do is they've given us a little hook here. I've coloured it orange to get the wire in. So we just make sure that high voltage wire is out the way. There we go. And that's all the wiring. Good. Right. Here, it's the grey connector we need. We need to plug that into the connector under there. So let's have a look. It seems to want to go that way. Now you may need to plug that in before you put the loom on. Right, yeah, so actually, I'll put a note in the video earlier. You need to plug this in before you screw that module on there. Right, so we're all looking good now. Right, we've got to put this bezel on so it points that way towards the center of the car, and it's held on with a series of these sort of double, there's like a daddy and a baby prong thing here, and there's 3 of those, and they go into these slots I've sort of highlighted, but they go in with quite a click. They're not too hard to line up. They line up okay, and we should be able to get 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's that. All good. Now the next thing is this massive assembly, which is most of the auxiliary lighting components. Now the first thing you need to do is connect this connector here, which goes into the bottom. Again, you can only get it in one way, and it should go in with a click. Okay, and then check all our wiring is correctly routed and out of the way. And then what we've got to do is mount this. Now this mounts on these 3 holes. I've made them orange for you. 1, 2, 3. Now it looks like it should have a rear location tab that goes in here, but mine, when I cut it off here, looks a little short, so we might have to add some extra adhesive here to the back. But let's see if we can push that in, make sure it's all up, and then we should have 3 remaining screws here that we can get these screws in, and this will start to hold all this in place. Well, I'll put that last screw in. Oh. There we go. Just trying to hold the light and turn the screwdriver. That's it. Thank you. Right, there we go. So that's that one in, and then the last thing you've got to do is connect your bulb, your HID bulb, your connectors there, and then when you're all finished, you've got your cap to fit on there, and that's then ready to have the lens fitted. Good luck with that.